Alright, so there's basically this concept which just came back to my mind, which I thought about would make a good YouTube video. I've learned about this probably like 1 or 2 years ago, and I just thought, let's do a video about this. So I'm gonna do some drawing, and before I start, it's gonna be awful, but what we're going to draw is that we're going to draw a street, and this concept that I'm now going to teach you about is specifically for new dojo owners. That's definitely not a clean street. Let's try that a little bit better. Still not perfect, but let's keep it like this. Alright, and what you have to remember is that when you start your school, you basically drive down your street. So here basically we have the start point. So let's write here, start. And then basically here we have, I don't know, God knows, like 50k per month, right? So basically once you've driven down the street, you're at 50k per month. Now, what needs to happen is that you obviously need to drive this street down, and what doesn't need to happen is that you drive, for example, over here, because if you drive over here, you're going to be out of business, right? So this is basically the point which you don't want to reach, because then you're going to be out of business. But you do want to reach, obviously, the point of 50k per month in this example at least, right? And this could be any number. It could be like 5k, whatever you want it to be. Just grab this real quick and put this away. Let me put myself. Actually, let's keep myself down here for now, and then let's keep this again. So basically, you have to drive exactly down this street in order to get to 50k per month. Now, what most people do, or what will happen to probably everyone even, is when you drive down the street, there are going to be problems to occur, right? So there are problems up here when you start, obviously, of registering your business, bank accounts, setting all of this stuff up and stuff like that. Maybe here you have the problem of getting new students. Then I don't know, over here you have to, like, people quit your school, and you have to kind of see how you're doing churn and stuff like that, right? How you get students to stay longer. Then here you're making a lot of money, and you're kind of having to deal with taxes now and stuff like that. And then over here, I don't know, your ad account gets shut down, and you need to worry about that again. Then here you kind of have almost saturated your market with like Facebook ads, and now you need to look for a different thing. And then down here, you're basically at 50k per month. Congratulations if you've made it this far. Now, what will happen is that you will basically, let's try actually draw a car here. And this car basically represents your school. It's not really a cool car, but let's keep it like this. So let's say, and you are basically driving this car. This is supposed to be you now. We're not gonna draw you in here. Let's keep it like this. So basically, you're right there, and you're driving this car, right? Looks more like a mouse or something like that, but whatever. So there's the car, and basically the car is your martial arts school, and then you are basically the driver of the car, right? So you're the business owner, whatever you want to call it, right? And you have to drive down the street, as I've said, to get to your goal, and you don't want to end up anywhere else. You don't want to drive here or here or here, because then you're gonna end up out of business or bankrupt or whatever happens, right? So you need to get to this point and not to any other point in order to actually achieve your goal. Now, as I said, there are multiple problems, as these lines represent, that are going to occur. Now, this car, though, only has like lights that maybe reach this far, right? So those are the lights of the car, and they only reach this far. Now, what most people then do is when they want to drive down this road, let's stick with the road example, they drive down, but then they worry about what happens down here, which, by the way, I'm just thinking no one actually worries about when they drive with a car what happens down here, or what happens here, right? What is with this curve? Like, there's a tree over here, and like, are we going to crash in this tree or not? No one worries about that. What they worry about is this stuff right here, right? Like, what is straight in front of them, which is this problem right now. And it's not one of these problems or any of the problems below. It's this problem right here, right? And once they get past this, then it's going to be this problem that they have to solve, and then so on and so forth, and then someday they'll be down here. But let's say the driver already worries about what happens down here. Well, it doesn't use them much, because then they're just going to crash their car because they don't see what's happening here, and then they're going to end up here or here or here, wherever, right? They're just going to end up out of business, but they're most definitely not going to end up down there, right? So, and now to bring this back to your martial arts school, because you may be thinking, well, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, when you start your school, or wherever you are in your school, right? Worry about the problem that's in front of you, that you can see with your lights basically in front of you, so to speak. Don't worry about, oh, what happens if my ad account gets shut down, or how do I handle this tax thing, or like, obviously don't fuck around with tax and stuff like that, blah blah blah, you get that point, right? But worry about the problems that are right now in front of you, and then once you've solved them, you can solve the next one, and then the next one, and then so forth, right? But don't worry about this problem down here when you're up here right now. Like, this doesn't make sense. Only worry about the problems that are right in front of you, that are visible to you, and once you solve them, new problems will emerge anyways. This is how every business works. Like, you solve one problem, the next problem comes up, right? It's always like that. And unless you do that, if you focus on the problems down here already, you're just going to crash your car inside of a tree because you don't see what's happening right here, and then you're just going to end up there, or you're just going to end up wherever, right? And it's super important. It's just a super cool concept, I think, that everyone should remember when they, especially when they're starting their school. If you want me to help you with your student acquisition, click the first link in the description. And other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.